Hello, healers and health seekers. It's me, Ichoda, healing with medical medium information for 4 years and 3 months now. If you want to know what I'm healing from, I can name a few things, but the rest are in the description box below. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, POTS, mast cell activation disorder, dysautonomia, multiple chemical sensitivity, chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, hypothyroid, migraines, eczema, rosacea, acne, PTSD, depression, anxiety, and again, a whole host of other symptoms and conditions, which are linked in the description box below if you want to go down the rabbit hole of my journey. Today, I want to talk about the medical medium brain meditation. Have you done it? And my experience of it. Okay. Like I said, I have been following medical medium information for 4 years and 3 months, and I have healed so many symptoms and conditions. I have many videos about all the symptoms and conditions that I have healed and that have improved and all this stuff, and it's just keeps getting better, and there's just more and more that keeps getting added to it. Last count, the last videos I did that were like, how many have symptoms and conditions have I healed? The count, I'm not kidding you, was over 115. And I say over because there were some that I did forget in the videos. But that's even, like, it's crazy. And why was it that high? Because I was really, really sick. I was on Mattress Island. I was bedridden. I was in a wheelchair. I was homebound. I was allergic to the world. I couldn't leave my house. I started to develop agoraphobia. I had severe PTSD. Had severe anxiety. It's like each chronic symptom gave way to more chronic symptoms and diagnoses. And it was just a freaking living nightmare. And it was no kind of life. And it was just this horrible existence. And I am infinitely grateful to be out of that and to have healed so much and to be back in the world and to be able to make videos and talk about it and to share my journey with other people. I recently made a video also about my spiritual healing, like soul healing and spiritual healing, the PTSD and just so many things that have healed spiritually. I mean, even before my chronic illness, I lost a child, and he was 3 years and 8 months old. That was my first son, and I don't think I need to say how devastating that is for somebody. It rips your soul apart into shreds. It shreds your soul to lose a child. It just destroys you. And I did not ever think in a million years, like ever. I just thought, that is who I am in this life now. I am just forever broken. I will always be destroyed. I will never heal from this fully. Like, I can learn to function again, and I can learn to, fake my way through the world, but I will never experience joy, and I will never experience any semblance of like true, like feeling like I'm myself or whole, or that there's not a giant gaping hole in my world. I don't even really know how to put words to that. I hope that gave like a tiny picture of what it's like. But through using the medical medium information to heal physical symptoms, amazingly, in these 4 years, the journey that has happened as a result of it and through it has also healed a big part of my soul and started to put that back together. And recently, in the past, I don't know, few months or whatever, I've started to feel like a joy again that I never ever thought I would be able to touch or experience until I went to be with him out of my body. And that, I mean, there's almost, I got no words for what that means. Like what that experience is like. I didn't think it could happen. I did not think it could happen. And then medical mediums started putting out these podcasts, these uncensored podcasts, which go deeper into the information than he's ever gone before. And remember, 4 years and 3 months, like not just 4 years and 3 months, but 4 years and 3 months of like immersive whole life experience learning of his information. So I read the books, I reread the books, I listen to them on audiobook. I have them in every format. I have them in Kindle, I have them in hardback, as you can see. I have them in audiobook, all the ones that exist in audiobook. I've listened to the audiobooks, I've read the books several times. And all the radio shows, when I first found his information, so I like to research things. I get immersive about things when I am interested in them. And I got like extra about this one because I was like, I must know everything there is to know about this. Like I need to soak it all in. Plus I had a lot of brain fog, so I needed to like reabsorb the information as much as possible so that I could sort of so it would sink through, right? But then as the brain fog lifted, I continued to do that. I still continue to do it. So I even went back through like his old Facebook posts and like way back and soaked up everything, read everything, tried to absorb everything, and listened to all of his radio shows that he had on Hay House. Currently, all the archived episodes of the Hay House radio show are on Apple Podcasts. So you can listen to them on Apple Podcasts. Not every single episode, but most of them are. Some of them are gone, but I think it's because they got censored from other places and I think they got deleted. I don't know why. It's weird. But Apple Podcasts is the only place to listen to the podcasts now because it's the only place they will be uncensored. Because even the old shows, the old radio shows and the old podcasts got censored on all other platforms. They would get cut off or they would get edited. They would look like they were the same amount of time, but they would be different. There were all these different ways that they messed with them and tweaked them. And it was, anyway, so Apple Podcasts is where he currently is hosting them. And he has said this is the only place that he can guarantee that they will not be censored. So try to listen to them through Apple Podcasts so that you'll get the full information. And now he's doing this whole new series of podcasts that are like next level uncensored. Like he really is going deeper than he's ever gone into all of this stuff he talked about. His first episode was on chemtrails. And so many of us have been waiting for so long for him to talk about chemtrails because there's obviously information out there. And, so people know about chemtrails, but for him to confirm it and like really go into detail about it, that's like a whole different thing. And he did go and I had known about him, but he really did go into detail about them in a way that nobody else possibly could. It's an intense episode, so it's not for the faint of heart, but if you want to know the truth, it's there. Anyway, the second episode, then he did Fruit Fear, talking even deeper about like how Fruit Fear was created and what is really going to happen on this planet if people stop eating fruit like altogether. And again, another intense episode, but in my mind necessary. I love to soak up as much truth as I can. Now that I know where to find it, it's like, please more, give it all to me. And I've been using his information to protect myself and support myself. So I know to bring a smoothie and, make sure I have glucose or a cup of tea with some raw honey in it to support me when I'm listening to him. Then he did the third episode to support us in the first 2 episodes, the brain meditation, which is what this video is about. The brain meditation is a whole new, different thing than he's ever done before. So in the first book, he did give several meditations to help support our healing, and I have used all of them, and I love them so much because it's not like other meditations where you have to sit and focus and concentrate and all this stuff. It's really just being present in nature in a lot of cases, and or doing like a short visualization that really does impact and help you. And he has the other tool of, in addition to obviously all of the holy 4, which is it's the herbs, the supplements, the fruits and vegetables, the wild foods. In addition to that, he also had the angels. The first and second book have angels, and to call on for us to help in our healing. So I loved those meditations more than I've ever loved any meditation in my life. And I've been meditating off and on since I was like 7, because I come from a family of, I come from a mom and then an extended family of meditators. So it's just been a part of my world, most of my life. And then, excuse the snoring, it's my pug. She just laying next to me snoring like she do. But this meditation, it's a whole nother level. It's like, it's him doing a guided meditation, and he takes us on a journey that helps reconnect us with our own soul. And I've been doing the brain meditation with my family, and my husband and son and I, we do it every night before bed. And then I do it myself alone every morning when I wake up. So I'll just take you through my experiences of it so far. So the first time I did it, I was, okay, so I have to say this. So what I'm about to talk about in my experiences of the meditation is going to give spoilers. If you don't want any spoilers, go do the meditation first, then come back to this video. But I need to do spoilers in order to talk about what I'm about to talk about. So, that being said, you've been warned. Okay, so my first experience of it, as soon as the puppy ran up, I burst into tears. And I immediately knew that it was a golden retriever before he said it was a golden retriever. Like, that's just what I saw. And then at the end, when we meet who we meet at the end, I knew that's who it was going to be. I just felt that. And again, crying. Like there was a big release. It was a lot of release. And I believe that the second time that I did it also, there was a big release. But I think it was in a different spot. It was maybe the third time. I don't know. It was maybe the third time I did it. But there was also a release in the spot where we're at the hole, when you stepped over the hole. And I just tears. Like, it just felt that release. Now, it's interesting because subsequent times I'll feel myself wanting to, it's like my thoughts want to go somewhere else and they don't want to focus and they don't want to be whatever, like they kind of wander and get a little erratic, and I was so relieved when he did the live and he said, it's okay if you can't focus or if you fall asleep or any of those things, or if you can't do the visualizations. He said the whole way the meditation was designed is that I do the work for you. So it doesn't matter if you can't focus or if you fall asleep or if your thoughts wander or anything like that. Like, just hearing it is enough. And so that helped me relax a little, because before that, so my pug here, my sweet girl, she likes to be with us wherever we are. And because at night we do the meditation together as a family, she's got to be in the center of it. She's like, I want to be in here so I can do this. And she was on the bed and just like would not settle. She's like, cleaning herself, which is really loud. And she was, oh, it's okay. I know, you're all settled now. This is nice. And she was just making so much, and I was just getting so irritated. I was just like, I just want to do this. Would you stop? And I just felt like angry. And then for the next couple of times that I did the meditation, I just noticed that I had this like, and it did help me settle when he said, you know, like it helped me relax a little bit when he was like, it's okay if you're distracted or whatever. But then for the next couple days, I just sort of had this like edginess to me where I just felt kind of angry, and I felt myself like arguing in my head with people who I felt had wrongly judged me. And yes, I did talk to the angels. I talked to the angel of deliverance and the angel of air and the angel of peace. I talked to a lot of angels and asked them to please sort of help clear that out of my energy field. But it seemed like I was still, and even today I did a little bit where I was still just kind of going back and forth, like, you know what? And another thing, you know, and like I'm internally having this argument with people who weren't there, and who, like, they had previously said something to me or judged me in some way. And I was like, wow, that was really unfair because you completely misunderstood the situation and you're judging based on like such wrong information. Like you don't even know what actually happened. And so it was more than one, like I was just like arguing back and forth with them. And I was just like, what? I don't want to do this. Like I don't want to have this in my head, but it just wouldn't stop. And I noticed that, and even another friend said to me that she was sort of having an experience like that, like feeling all edgy and angry. And we both kind of wondered together if it was like kind of like when we detox stuff out of our livers, when we're doing a cleanse, you know, stuff is coming out of our liver, and so the emotions come up and you're sort of feeling it as it sort of passes through you and processes out. And I was like, you know what, that would make sense, because it's like if the fear has been filling that space, like maybe the fear is kind of fighting for its existence in a way. Or, you know, or it is kind of like it's stuff's coming up and out and you're processing it. Because I had the same kind of experiences where it's like memories are kind of coming up random out of nowhere. The same kind of thing as when I'm detoxing stuff out of my liver, where I feel these memories coming up and they're just random, and it's like, oh, I haven't thought about that in forever. Like, where did that come from? But it's like, oh, it's because it's, you know, stuff that's been trapped in my liver this whole time, which, seeing how far back those memories go, it just makes me think, holy moly. There's still all that stuff in there. But yeah, still. But then, you know, but it's getting more peaceful again. And it's just amazing how it's like that. It's different every time. And so then the last couple of times I noticed that I completely missed the part after the hole. Like just, it wasn't even there. Like I knew it was coming. And then suddenly I'd be at the end. And I was like, what? Wait, what about the part where the people, what? How'd I get here? You didn't say the thing about the people. And I was just like, okay. And it happened more than once. Even just this most recent time when I did it happen. And I was even this most recent time going, I am going to pay attention to that specific part and I'm going to hear that. That's going to happen. And it happened again where I don't know where I went. I don't know what happened. It was like a time warp. It just went from jumping the hole to being at the end. And I was like, how? Like, how did that happen? But it's just really interesting how it changes. You know, my point isn't to like really fixate on the details of it. It's just more that it changes each time. And my experience changes each time. My bridge changes, my attention changes, the feelings that come up change, or what doesn't come up, or, you know, whether or not I'm like moved emotionally, or if I'm just kind of like peaceful at the end of it, or tired at the end of it, or like whatever. It just varies each time. But I know that each time, I know because I know from this information, and I know from following medical medium information and hanging on every word that Anthony says for 4 years and 3 months, that this is powerful and that it is doing big healing and however it looks in the details, honestly aren't that important, even though I'm doing a video about it. It's not as important as actually just continuing to do it and trusting and allowing the process, and not being like, well, that didn't look like I wanted it to, therefore I'm gonna stop or something. Because there's so much benefit to be had in this, and I know, because this information doesn't come from man. It doesn't come from humans. It's not man created. It's created by spirit of compassion. It comes from above. And I mean, how, of course you can trust that. It's like, are you kidding me? How lucky are we to have access to information from above, like genuine access, you know? Not moneyed interests or political interests or biased or thumb on the scale or anything like that. Like, no money behind it, nothing like that. It's just like pure, untampered with information, because it just goes in his ear and he doesn't even interpret it. He just writes down exactly what he hears, you know, or says exactly what he hears. It's not even up to, he's not channeling it, you know. It's not coming through him. It's literally like someone talking in his ear, and then he just goes, he said this, and that's, you know, and if he says it wrong, he'll get corrected. No, I didn't say that, I said this. Oh, I mean this, it's this, right? Like, I just think that's phenomenal and amazing. Anyway, if you have not tried the brain meditation, I want to just highly, highly recommend to you to try it. Because the other part of that I did not say yet is that, you know how I said the chemtrail show was really intense and the fruit fear show was really intense, and processing that can be really difficult. Okay, here's two things that helped me process that. One, the brain meditation really helped calm me down about it. But two, the poems at the end are relevant. And I went back and I listened to the poems at the end. I've listened to each show that he's done at least twice. I would listen more, but then he puts out another show and I got to go listen to that. So I haven't had a chance to listen more, but I did have a chance to go back and re-listen to, because I've actually been writing them down for myself, like in a journal, re-listen to the poems at the end of each show. And the poems at the end of each show are loaded with, like, listen to them line by line. He's telling you there's hope, and he's telling you the information is important. Because, and by that I mean medical medium information, because that's what protects us, that's what supports us, and we rise above it. We rise above this horrible news and knowing these things. We rise above it by using this information and healing and spreading the information in the world so other people can heal. And he's not saying there's no hope. He's not saying it's all doom and gloom. You gotta listen to the poems. They are important. So important. And he's been reposting this lovely girl, Ashley Kiven. She has done interpretive dances to the poems at the end of his shows, and they have been incredible. And I love listening to that and watching her like interpret them through movement. It's so beautiful. Go to his Instagram and you'll find her, because it's just powerful. Listen to the poems at the end. Listen to them more than once. Listen to the whole show more than once, but definitely listen to the poems like even more than that. That helped me so much, and it helped me so much to do the brain meditation, to just be like, okay, he's known this his whole life, like all of it. And he's still fighting the good fight and spreading the information. And so that's what we can do too. Like, we can still fight the good fight and spread the information. so that other people can heal. Like, that's so important. So I wanted to share my experience, and I want to ask you, if you have done the brain meditation, please share your experience, because I love hearing. Because I've noticed, so I posted about it on Instagram, and I asked people to tell me what their experiences have been. And there's such a variance and the gamut of experiences, and it's so fascinating and beautiful to read all the different experiences. And so please tell me your experiences with the brain meditation if you have done it. And if you haven't done it, go do it. Then come back and tell me your experiences of the brain meditation. Because I just want to know. I just want to know, like, I just love hearing all of the different things that happen for people, because it really is different for all of us. So that's another important thing to bear in mind, that it's not gonna look for you like it did for me or like it did for someone else, and that's totally okay. And like I said, medical medium said that it was okay if you can't focus. It's okay if you can't concentrate. It's okay if you doze off. It's okay. Just let him, just let it wash over you. Let it do the work. If you can't do the visualization, that's okay. Don't think that if you see the quote unquote wrong kind of bridge, that your bridge is wrong. No, it's not. Like, don't second guess yourself or think, oh, I broke it, or I didn't do it right, or it didn't work for me, because it's working in ways that we don't see and that we don't necessarily understand. And the more we do it, the more, he said, like, the more, I'm going to paraphrase because I can't remember exactly how he said it, but he said the more layers you're going to cover. You go watch his lives, and that they're on YouTube even now. So you watch his channel too. Make sure you watch his lives. Don't take my word for things. Just go watch those. But even if nothing happens at first, and you're just like, what? I did it and it was nothing. Like, I didn't notice anything. Because I also noticed the first few times I did it, I noticed a shift, and I do feel like calm and relaxed afterwards, and just like sort of peaceful. But I've had other people say, like, I didn't really notice anything. And you know what? That's okay too. That's even okay. If you don't notice anything, I would still urge you to continue to do it anyway. Just keep doing it. Because even if you don't see or feel directly what happens, over time, I think there's going to be a difference. That's my belief. I really feel that strongly. Anyway, please tell me your experiences. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, give a thumbs up below. You can subscribe to my channel by hitting the subscribe button over there. If you have things you would like me to talk about in future videos, please also tell me that. And please say, in a future video, could you talk about this, so that I know that you're not just asking me a question for now, because I also do answer all my comments eventually. Yeah. Let me know if there's stuff you want me to talk about. And I love you so much, my healers and health seekers. I wish you so many blessings on your continued healing journey. Remember that you can heal. Remember to always stay curious. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.